Hi everyone, it's Eli again. So I wanted to get right into it. I wanted to start talking about an issue that has to do with streaming services. Some major streaming services are being absorbed into much larger streaming services, and I think that's kind of unfair. So one streaming service is DC Universe, which is a streaming service that has all the movie and TV adaptations of DC comic books, like the Batman movies, for example. And all of that content is now being reshuffled into HBO Max, which I think is kind of unfair because they had this niche streaming service for people who love DC comic book adaptations, and now they have to pay even more to get that content, which I think is ridiculous. And another big one is CBS All Access, and all of that content is now being reshuffled to Paramount Plus, which will definitely have way more content and will be at a much higher price. I'm certain of that. And I believe Paramount Plus hasn't come out yet. It'll be out in 2021. So what does that mean for consumers like us? It's ridiculous because, like, if we want to subscribe to these more smaller streaming services, we have to worry about if larger companies are just going to come in and swoop up all of our stuff and start making us pay more just for extra content that we're not even going to use. I don't have any really smaller streaming services, but I know there are people out there that do like their smaller streaming services that have more of a niche audience. And I do think it's unfair that, like, bigger companies are just coming in and swooping up all this content. I don't like it at all. And, like, you're paying more money for the same things you were enjoying just a couple months ago. I think it's ridiculous. So I wanted to go over the disadvantages of having a streaming service because I kind of started off with more of a negative tone. So, streaming services have an ever-changing price. You never know if it's going to go up or down, mostly up. So that's never fun. There's always reshuffling of content. For instance, Netflix is always taking things on and off that isn't its original content. And I know a lot of people get bothered by that. And also, like I said before, like DC Universe, how all their content is going to another service already. So I know it really bothers a lot of people for that. And also, you're stuck behind a paywall for certain content, it feels like. Like, if you have a certain movie that you want to watch and it's only on this streaming service, you feel like you have to subscribe to this huge streaming service just to take a look, to look at this content. So that can be really frustrating. There are advantages to it, though. There are no ads on some streaming services. Some of them have ads, but there's also higher prices for no ads, which I think is nice if you really don't want to look at ads. I like Netflix because they don't charge for no ads, which is really nice. It can be really frustrating in an ad-saturated world where they're just everywhere, and so it's nice to just kind of sit back and enjoy something without having commercial breaks or anything like that. Streaming services do have a reduced price compared to cable. That's really nice. Instead of paying $45 to like $60 a month for cable, you can have you only pay like $7 or $8. Up to 15 is probably the largest I've seen they go for. So that can be an advantage. They are compatible with most mobile devices, smart TVs, and game consoles, which is really nice. You can have them just about anywhere. For cable, you have to set up a box. You have to call a cable guy, and that can be inconvenient to some people. It's nice because the streaming services have trials. It can be up to 7 to 30 days, depending on how big it is, which is nice because you can really enjoy some content, and then if you really don't like it, you can just cancel it. So that's always good. So I wanted to wrap up in conclusion. You got to pick a streaming service that works for you. You got to go with the content you want in a streaming service, and you got to spend your money wisely. That's how you got to think about it in terms of streaming service. So thank you everyone for watching my video. Have fun.